Okay, so get this, a Bollywood family drama set against a pilgrimage. That's the backdrop for Vanvaas.
Okay.
And we're diving deep, into these two contrasting reviews of its trailer.
Ah, interesting.
You shared these, so I'm guessing you're pretty intrigued by this too, right?
Yeah.
It's just so fascinating to me how two people can watch the same footage
Yeah.
and walk away with such different impressions.
Absolutely. And that's why having those two different reviews, I think, is so valuable. It allows us to kind of explore those nuances a little bit more and see how different perspectives can sort of illuminate details that we might have missed otherwise.
Exactly. So let's set the stage here.
Okay.
The trailer centers around Nana Patekar, right, as this abandoned father who embarks on this pilgrimage.
Right.
And along the way, he crosses paths with Utkarsh Sharma, who is playing a con artist.
Yeah.
Now, the pilgrimage setting, I think, adds this really interesting layer here because it's not just a physical journey.
Right.
It suggests a search for something deeper, maybe even spiritual.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think you're spot on. I think that the pilgrimage adds that layer of symbolic depth to the story.
Yeah.
And it does suggest a journey of self-discovery and perhaps even redemption, not just for Nana Patekar's character, but for other characters as well, potentially.
And speaking of redemption, it's interesting that the director, Anil Sharma, is the same guy behind Gadar, Ek Prem Kasa.
Oh, wow.
Remember that massive hit back in 2001?
Yeah.
He's not just directing this time, though. He's also written and produced Vanvaas.
Oh, wow.
So what kind of pressure do you think that adds?
Well, that's a gamble for sure. Taking on all those roles means that he is very deeply invested in this project. And on one hand, it could be a recipe for incredible creative control, ensuring that his vision is fully realized.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it also could mean that any flaws are magnified because there's no one else to share the blame with.
Oh, that's a good point. High stakes indeed.
Yeah.
So both reviews agree that this film tackles the theme of children neglecting their aging parents.
Right.
And this honestly resonates across cultures.
Yeah.
But what makes this such a powerful theme for filmmakers to explore, especially in today's world?
I think that it really taps into, a fundamental anxiety that we have. We live in an era of such rapid change and traditional family structures are being redefined.
Yeah.
And I think this theme allows us to examine those shifting dynamics.
Okay.
The tensions between individual aspirations and familial obligations. And it forces us to confront these difficult questions about responsibility, guilt, and the meaning of family in a modern context.
I like that. The reviews are both rating about Nana Patekar's performance.
Yeah.
With one even saying that he overshadows Utkarsh Sharma in emotional scenes.
Interesting.
He's known for playing those intense characters, but what specific qualities do you think he brings to this role that have everyone so excited?
Nana Patekar has this incredible ability to convey vulnerability and quiet strength at the same time.
Yeah.
He doesn't need grand gestures or anything to command attention.
Right.
It's all, in his eyes, the subtle shifts in his expression.
Yeah.
I suspect that he'll portray this abandoned father with a mix of heartbreak and resilience. A performance that will definitely stay with the audience long after the credits have rolled. It's interesting how the trailer itself, I think, plays a role in building anticipation.
Yeah.
One review pointed out how it deliberately keeps certain plot details under wraps.
Right.
You see these glimpses of conflict, of emotional turmoil, but you're left kind of wondering about the motivations and the backstories.
Yeah, you're so right. It's like they're giving you this puzzle with a couple of the pieces missing.
Exactly.
It makes you want to see the whole picture.
Yeah.
Especially with family drama like this. Those hidden details could be the key to understanding the characters' choices.
And speaking of choices, one review highlighted a scene where Nana Patekar's character refuses to accept that his children have abandoned him.
Okay.
It sounds like a really powerful moment, one that showcases Patekar's ability to, convey just raw emotion.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
The way they described it, it's like you can feel his denial.
Yeah.
His desperate clinging to the belief that his family will come back to him.
Right.
It makes you wonder how he'll ultimately cope with that reality,
Right.
and whether the pilgrimage will offer him any solace.
That's a really good point. It raises the question of, whether this film simply presents the issue of familial neglect, or if it actually offers some path towards resolution some way for these broken relationships to heal.
It's a complex issue, and I'm leaning towards the film exploring that complexity, rather than just giving us easy answers.
Right.
Especially knowing Anil Sharma's past work, he tends to tackle social issues head on, but not in a preachy way.
Yeah, exactly. His films often spark reflection and dialogue,
Right.
challenging viewers to kind of confront their own values and beliefs.
Yeah.
It's not about pointing fingers, but rather encouraging empathy and understanding from all sides.
Now, one detail I found really intriguing was the mention of romance being woven into this storyline.
Oh, interesting.
How do you think that will play out alongside the heavier theme of parental abandonment?
It's an interesting choice, isn't it? I mean, it could provide a much-needed counterpoint to the emotional weight of the main plot, offering moments of lightness and hope.
Right.
Or it could deepen the complexity of the characters' relationships, showing how love and loss can intertwine in these unexpected ways.
I was thinking about that too, especially since the trailer seems to hint at a connection between Utkarsh Sharma's character and this romantic subplot.
Yeah.
Could this be the catalyst for his transformation, his journey from con artist to something more?
That's definitely a possibility. Maybe the love interest challenges his worldview, helps him tap into a sense of empathy that he hasn't fully developed yet.
Right.
It'll be really interesting to see how his character arc unfolds and if the romance ultimately leads him towards redemption.
So many questions. I'm already hooked.
I know, me too.
And this is just from the trailer.
Exactly. And remember, we're only getting this glimpse through the lens of these two reviews.
Right.
The beauty of film is that it's subjective.
Yeah.
Each viewer is bringing their own experiences and interpretations to the table.
Right. Speaking of interpretations, one review briefly mentioned the film's score.
Yeah.
Composed by Mithun.
Okay.
What kind of impact do you think his music will have on the overall experience?
Well, Mithun is known for creating incredibly evocative scores.
Okay.
Blending traditional Indian instruments with contemporary sounds.
Yeah.
I imagine that his music will really enhance the emotional depth of the film, adding layers of texture and nuance to the storytelling.
Isn't it amazing how music can add so much to a film? Almost like this unspoken language.
It is.
That speaks directly to our emotions.
All right.
One review briefly touched on the visual style.
Yeah.
Saying that Anil Sharma is going for this visually stunning aesthetic.
Oh, absolutely. Even the trailer showcases these breathtaking shots of the pilgrimage site.
Yes.
These sweeping landscapes that convey a sense of both grandeur and isolation.
Right.
And then there are these close-up shots capturing the raw emotion on the actors' faces.
It's like he's using those contrasting visuals to mirror the internal struggles of the characters.
Exactly.
The vastness of their journey contrasted with the intimacy of their personal struggles.
And knowing his experience with large-scale productions like Gadar, I'm expecting some truly epic and visually captivating scenes in Vanvaas. It's going to be a feast for the eyes as well as the heart.
So both reviews seem pretty confident that Vanvaas has the potential to be a major hit.
Yeah.
What do you think are the key factors that contribute to that prediction?
Well, you have Nana Patekar, a legend in Indian cinema. I mean, his name alone carries a lot of weight and is sure to draw a huge audience.
And you can't forget Anil Sharma himself.
Exactly.
He has a track record of delivering.
He does.
Box office successes.
Yeah, films that resonate with a broad audience.
Plus, it's releasing during the holiday season in India.
Oh, that's right.
When people are looking for films that offer both entertainment and emotional depth.
Yeah, it seems perfectly timed to capture the hearts of audiences nationwide.
And let's not forget the supporting cast.
Oh, yeah, good point.
The reviews didn't really delve too deeply into their performances.
Right.
But we know Simrat Kaur is playing the love interest. And there are glimpses of Rajpal Yadav.
Yes.
A brilliant comedic actor.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of dynamic he brings to the film.
A little comedic relief can go a long way.
Especially in a film dealing with such heavy themes.
Absolutely. And there's also Khushbu Sunder.
Oh, that's right.
A well-known actress in South Indian cinema. Her presence in the film is sure to attract a wider audience, bridging the gap between different regional film industries.
It sounds like he's assembled
He has.
quite a diverse and talented cast.
Absolutely.
Which adds another layer of intrigue to this whole thing.
It does.
It's not just about the big names, but the potential for these unexpected performances.
Yeah.
That could really surprise us.
I completely agree. And speaking of surprises,
Yeah.
one detail that really stood out to me was the film's title, Vanvaas.
Okay.
It's such a powerful word loaded with meaning.
You're right. It's not just a title.
Right.
It's a statement.
It is.
In Hindi, it translates to exile or banishment,
Yeah.
which I think perfectly reflects Nana Patekar's character,
She does.
being abandoned by his own children.
But it goes deeper than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It also hints at, I think, a sense of emotional isolation,
Right.
a feeling of being cut off from those you love.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests that the film explores not just physical separation, but the internal struggles that come with feeling disconnected from your roots, your family, your sense of belonging.
That's a really insightful observation.
Thank you.
It elevates the film beyond just a simple story of abandonment.
Yeah.
It's about this universal search for connection, for belonging, for a place where we truly feel at home.
Exactly. And that theme resonates so deeply with human experience.
Yeah.
Regardless of culture or background.
It does.
And it's what makes this story, I think, so compelling, so universally relatable.
It sounds like Anil Sharma is aiming for something truly special with Vanvaas.
Yeah.
A film that not only entertains, but also provokes thought and discussion.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even amidst the complexities of modern life,
Right.
the yearning for connection, for family,
Yeah.
remains a powerful driving force.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect segue into our final thoughts on this film.
Okay.
What are your concluding remarks?
Based on everything we've discussed, it seems like Anil Sharma is crafting a film that has the potential to be both deeply moving and intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
It's a story that tackles these difficult themes with sensitivity and nuance,
Right.
inviting viewers to kind of examine their own values
Absolutely.
and beliefs about family responsibility
Yes.
and the complexities of human relationships.
I couldn't agree more. It's a film that promises to stay with you long after the credits roll,
Yeah.
prompting reflection and perhaps even inspiring meaningful conversations about the challenges and triumphs of navigating familial bonds in a rapidly changing world.
And I think it's important to remember that this is just a taste of what Vanvaas has to offer.
Right.
We're basing our analysis on these 2 reviews and a trailer.
Yeah.
But the full film could hold so many more surprises, nuances, and layers of meaning.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of film, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's this collaborative art form
Right.
that sparks individual interpretation and personal connection.
Yeah, what resonates with one viewer might evoke a completely different response in another.
And those diverse perspectives are what make the cinematic experience so rich and rewarding.
Now, before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that might seem like a minor detail,
Okay.
but it's actually quite significant.
Go.
The film's release date.
You're talking about December 20th, 2024, right?
What's so significant about that?
Well, consider the context. December in India is a bustling time for film releases.
Okay.
It's the holiday season, and people are eager to celebrate with family and friends,
Right.
often choosing to spend their leisure time at the cinema.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Vanvaas will be facing some pretty stiff competition at the box office,
Exactly.
going up against other highly anticipated releases.
Right. Vying for the attention of holiday crowds.
But, I think this film has a unique advantage.
Yeah.
Its themes of family belonging and reconciliation
Right.
align perfectly with the spirit of the season.
You're right. It's a film that speaks to the heart of what many people are seeking during this time of year. Connection, reflection, and a sense of shared humanity.
So while it might face tough competition,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vanvaas manages to stand out from the crowd,
I agree.
drawing in audiences who are looking for something a little deeper, a little more meaningful, alongside their holiday entertainment.
And let's not forget the power of word of mouth.
Oh, that's right.
If the film lives up to the hype generated by the trailer
Right.
and the buzz surrounding its cast and director,
Yeah.
I think positive reviews and audience recommendations could play a major role in its success.
Absolutely. There's a palpable sense of anticipation surrounding this film.
There is.
And I have a feeling it's going to spark a lot of conversations and generate a strong following once it hits theaters.
I agree.
Well, we'll have to wait until December 20th to see how it all unfolds.
Oh, will.
But in the meantime, we've certainly given our listeners plenty to ponder.
We have.
Anticipate.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to shift gears for a moment and touch on something that one of the reviews mentioned, but didn't really explore in depth.
Okay.
It was a seemingly minor detail, but it sparked a thought that I think is worth sharing with our listeners.
I'm intrigued. What detail are you referring to?
It was a comment about the potential for unexpected bonds to form between characters who aren't related by blood.
Right.
Specifically hinting at a connection between Nana Patekar and Utkarsh Sharma's characters.
Oh, I remember that. It's subtle in the trailer.
It is.
But you can sense a certain kinship developing between them.
Yes.
A bond that transcends their initial roles.
Right.
As abandoned father and con artist.
And that observation made me think about how we define family in today's world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always about blood ties or shared history.
Right.
Sometimes the most profound connections emerge from these unexpected encounters, forging bonds that are just as strong, if not stronger, than those we're born into.
That's such a beautiful point.
Thank you.
It speaks to the power of human connection.
Yeah.
And the potential for finding solace and support in places we might not expect.
Right. It's a reminder that family can be found.
It can.
In the most unlikely of circumstances.
Exactly. And, you know, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think that's a beautiful message to leave our listeners with.
I love that.
A reminder to be open to those unexpected connections.
Yeah.
To cherish the bonds that enrich our lives, regardless of their origin.
It's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
Reminding us that even amidst the complexities of family dynamics and societal expectations, the human spirit yearns for connection.
It does.
And those bonds can blossom in the most unexpected and heartwarming ways.
It really is. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I kind of want to leave you with a thought that builds on what we've been discussing. You know, we've analyzed the plot, the performances, the themes, even the strategic release date of Vanvaas.
Yeah.
But what I find most fascinating is how this film, even just through its trailer, you know, prompts us to look inward.
That's an excellent point. It's not just about entertainment, is it?
No.
It's about sparking a dialogue, you know, both within ourselves and with others.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, you know, think about those unexpected connections in your own life.
Okay.
The friendships that have become like family, the mentors who've guided you, maybe even those strangers who've shown you kindness in a moment of need.
Yeah.
Vanvaas reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful relationships come from the least expected places.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe seeing this film will inspire us to reach out, to strengthen those bonds, or even to forge new ones after all. Isn't that what makes life richer? The connections we create and nurture along the way.
Couldn't agree more. This deep dive has been a real pleasure.
It has.
We've unpacked so much, and I'm sure our listeners, you have your own takeaways and questions bubbling up. So we encourage you, don't stop here. Check out the Vanvaas trailer for yourself. See what resonates with you. What details jump out. What thoughts and emotions it stirs within you. That's the beauty of art. It's a springboard for personal exploration.
And remember, your interpretation is just as valid as any critic's.
Yes.
Enjoy that journey of discovery, and we'll be here, ready to dive into more fascinating topics with you next time.
Until then, keep diving deep and keep those minds open.